E.N.D here. Later this year, we'll go back on Ixalan. So why not crack a nice Ixalan booster box? This box opening is coming from my archives. When Ixalan was released some time ago, I bought a booster case, opened it, filmed it, but never released the video. Now is the perfect time to revisit this set. As always, using the knife, be extremely careful not to hurt yourself and especially not to damage any card in your booster box. Ixalan, it was all about merfolks, vampires and dinosaurs. The nice green booster packs of Ixalan. Chase cards. During that time, Carnage Tyrant, that was the most expensive card. I think it was around $30. First rare card, Ashes of the Abhorrent. Okay, not really an expensive or valuable rare card. And there's a nice common foil card. Don't forget that during Ixalan, foils weren't that much common. I think a booster box could have 6 common foil cards, maybe 3 uncommon and 1 rare or mythic. Nowadays, there's a nice flip card, Lost Veil, at 3 mana of 1 color. It's like a Black Lotus. I was saying that nowadays, with collector booster boxes, with the increase foil pull rate, foil cards are becoming extremely common and not valuable at all. During that time, things were different. There's another uncommon foil card. I was saying chase cards, Carnage Tyrant was around $30. Was quite a good hit. There was Jace, the Shirtless Jace. What we have here? Deep Root Champion. Okay, take that, Merfolk. If you want, or if you wanted to build a Merfolk deck during those days, Ixalan was your set. There were so much good Merfolks in that particular set. Settle the Wreckage. Settle the Wreckage. What a card. What a card. It was used and abused during Standard. 4 untapped lands and 2 of them white. It meant only one thing: settle the wreckage. And very few players dared to attack with all their army. Settle the wreckage. What a good card. What a good card. Unfortunately, it didn't age that good. Emperor Vanguard. That's another rare card. I was saying that if you wanted to build a Merfolk deck, Ixalan and drivers of Ixalan were your sets. There's a nice land. Okay, we take that land. And when we will return to Ixalan, I think Merfolk's deck will become again a thing. Because Ixalan, Spellswinder, Ixalan was all, and there's a nice Deadeye Quartermaster foil uncommon. Was I'm sure that Merfolks will feature again in that particular set. Obviously, for the time being, we know nothing. What we have here? Rowdy Crew, the first mythic card. Not an expensive card, not a valuable card, even those days. Nowadays, really, nothing valuable from that card, Rowdy Crew. Unlucky card. What we have here? Vance and a nice flip card. Honestly, I really liked those flip cards. On one side, you had a card, a spell, then it could, if you met some conditions, it could flick, and when it flips, it became quite a very, very strong card. I believe anyone that played during that time in Standard, even today, I think it's a very strong card. The most, let's say, famous one was Search for Azcanta. Search for Azcanta was played a lot during Standard, and I think World Championship was won with a deck that contained Search for Azcanta, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken, but I think the World Championship was won with a deck that had that card. Blue control, white, blue control, it's always that Gorger. White blue control, it's always a very good deck in any format, especially in standard. And especially during those days with those cards. There's a Siren. Search for Skanta, Settle the Wreckage. Very, very strong cards. Opt, the reprint. Ixalan featured a reprint of Opt. There's a Seeker, a Vampire, and a nice foil Swamp. Those were the cards that were being played in standard during that time. I don't recall any bands from Ixalan. There's an entrancing melody. I don't recall any bands from the Ixalan block, at least in standard. Carnage Tyrant was a very strong card. That was the most expensive card in Ixalan, only because it couldn't get countered. So if you were playing against white blue control, Carnage Tyrant was a very good card. It was a 6-drop with Trample, Big Dinosaur, Rampaging Pherocidon. Okay, now there's Riverbuck. Okay, now I remember. Yes, Rampaging Pherocidon was banned. Was banned in standard. Then I think the last month or last 2 months of Ixalan being legal in standard. Legion's Landing, another good card. The last month or last few months that Ixalan was legal in standard, Rampaging Pherocidon was unbanned. I can't remember exactly what was happening, but it was unbanned. So first it was banned and then it was unbanned. I can't really truly remember exactly what was happening. We are talking during a time that sets were being dashed out with extremely powerful cards, and then after a couple of days or a couple of months, cards were being banned. If I recall well, Rampaging Pherocidon was banned with Star of Extinction, another mythic card, with a red land from or Hour of Devastation or Amonkhet. It was a very strong card. If I recall well, they were being banned because together they were very, very strong, and they were Revel in Riches. Revel in Riches, and I want to make a small note about Revel in Riches. During the release of Ixalan, Revel in Riches wasn't an expensive card. No one wanted that card. There's another land. No one wanted that card. No one knew how that card could be played or how that card could get strong. But then, after Ixalan, when certain sets were being released and there was a more focus on treasures, remember that Ixalan featured the first treasure tokens, or the first cards that could create treasures. After Ixalan, every set was featuring cards or mechanics that could go well hand in hand with treasures or create a lot of treasures. A very good example is Kaldheim, for example, with the Gold Spear Dragon. When treasures started to become a thing in Magic, there's Jace, Cunning, Castaway. We called him Shirtless Jace or Sexy Jace. Extremely nice artwork, and there's a nice flip card in foil. I was saying that when treasures started to become very important, Kaldheim, Streets of New Capenna, just to mention a couple of sets after Ixalan, Revel in Riches became a very sought after card and became quite valuable. So whoever, like me, sold their Revel in Riches for few cents, now we feel the guilt. Now I think it's around $15 to $18 that card. Conquer's Galleon, another flip card. I told you I really loved those particular flip cards. Artwork was very, very nice. I really loved that artwork. Another Ashes. I love the artwork. Even on one side you had a card and on the other side you had a very powerful spell. And when you could flip those cards, things could get very interesting. Premium Amulet. That's another very good card. Another very good flip card. These flip cards were very different from the Innistrad transformation. Innistrad transform cards could transform and then could transform back. If I recall well, these flip cards, they could transform, but you couldn't transform them back. But as I told you, Paladin, Blood Crystal, as I told you, if you managed to flip one of those cards, if you managed to transform one of those cards, that was more powerful than the back, was more powerful than the front, and you wanted to transform that card. This is the last pack. Treasure Map, another flip card, and last but not least, a nice foil common card. Okay, so this was a nice box opening of Ixalan. As I said, later on this year we'll go back on Ixalan. Let's see if vampires and merfolks and dinosaurs will become another thing in Standard. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.